Tuesday, January 18th at 2:06 p.m. And I think, we're gonna, maybe what I would suggest is we could all do introductions. And then we are going to have to organize and identify a chair, probably a vice chair. And in my mind, that should be a Wellfleet citizen. So maybe we could just start with introductions, and I'll start if that's okay. My name is Charlie Sumner, and I serve as the interim town administrator for Wellfleet. I've been here since last May of 2020. We can talk about some of the things that we've been working on some other time. But I'm really happy that we're finally starting this process. I am retired and I'd sort of like to get back to that mode. So if we could just roam through, and maybe I could ask Bruce, I'm looking at my screen, and then I'll rotate through everybody.
Sure. Attorney Bruce Behrens, business and trial lawyer for 40 years, former Wellfleet town moderator, president of just about every damn organization in town at one time or another. And I think that's it.
Bruce, I'm the town moderator in Brewster, and I think I'm on too many committees too, so thank you for all of that.
You have my sympathy.
Yeah, no, I understand. Chief Hurley?
Thanks, Charlie. Mike Hurley, Chief of Police, have been with the department in one form or another since 1995, from a summer police officer to now Chief of Police. So excited to be the alternate for the committee.
Kathy?
Hi, Kathy Granlin, Vice Chair of the Wellfleet Finance Committee for probably 7 years. Been in Wellfleet for 26 years, educated my 3 children here, all of who still live in Wellfleet. And I'm excited for this search so that I can look to the future of Wellfleet for not only me, but my children.
Thanks, Kathy. Chief Pauly?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Charlie. Rich Pauly, Fire Chief in town, been chief since 2013. I've also been fire chief in 2 other communities with about 22 years experience total as a fire chief. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Chief Parker? Artie? I know Artie.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to apologize because my technological expertise is not allowing me to show a picture up there. But I've been a police chief in 3 different communities after serving Wellfleet for 22 years. And I was asked to join the search committee so that we can ideally identify some professional candidates to be able to present to the board for appointment.
Thanks, Artie. And Rick White?
My name's Rick White. I'm your consultant. Hired just before the holidays. Just for background, I spent almost 40 years as a town manager in Massachusetts. Know it well. When I retired, my former boss in Winchester, who now resides in Chatham, asked me to join him and to become Grew White Consulting, LLC. And I've been helping him on and off. And, prior to 4 years ago, doing some of the grunt and behind the scenes work for him. And now, I find myself the principal player in the firm. We've done a number of searches, most recently in Provincetown. In terms of my career, I spent almost 20 years in Lexington. And then, I spent my last 8 years in Dennis. So I know the Cape pretty well. Charlie and I both grew up in the same hometown. Spent, 40 years working, toiling in the same field. So I know Charlie really well. And I'm looking forward to this. We got off to a little bit of a rocky start, waiting for the selectmen to respond, and then COVID hit the town hall. So we're a little behind. You know, we thought we'd have resumes completed and ready for you to review by the end of January. It looks like now we're looking at mid-February. The ads are out. You've got a copy of the brochure, the advertisements. I'm starting to get some people trickling in. But, you know, most of it is reaching out to people I think would be a good fit. You know, Charlie, I don't know if you want me to get into what we've done or wait. What do you?
What I'm thinking is, just for disclosure purposes, yeah, Rick White and I have been colleagues for a long time, friends. And I did serve on the town manager search committee in Provincetown, and worked with Rick and really enjoyed the process. So not there's anything to hide, but we've known each other for a long time, and we like and respect each other. So I'm really happy that Rick is doing this project for your community. I think you know, my only instinct is if we want to, is there someone who would be interested in serving as chair of the committee? I think organizing is important. You know, we could wait until the end of the meeting or the beginning of our next meeting, but it really would be appropriate to have a resident, in my mind, as chair. Any volunteers?
The rush is overwhelming.
Bruce? Or you're on mute, Bruce.
If no one else is interested, I'll do it because I do this for organizations all the time. But that's only if no one else is interested in doing it.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah. We do, Kathy.
I nominate Bruce Behrens to be chair.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Bruce to serve as chair. I don't believe there's any other nominations. So therefore, why don't we move to a vote? All in favor of Bruce Behrens to serve as chair of the Town Administrator Search Committee, please raise your hand or indicate by saying, we should do a roll call, actually, I'm sorry. So I'm going to set Kathy,
Aye.
Chief Polly,
Aye.
Artie Parker,
Aye.
Charlie Sumner, aye. And Mike is, of course, an alternate. So it's a unanimous. And so, Bruce, I'm going to turn the meeting
Thank
over
you,
to
Bruce.
you. Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Let me find, Rebecca, you had sent one of the documents out as an agenda, hadn't you?
I can screen share it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, if you could. I can try to find it on my phone also. I just found it, Rebecca, if you can't find it.
I got it. Give me 1 sec.
Okay,
There you go.
so the next item on the agenda would be the review of process. Actually, you know what I'd like to do is I think that until we get resumes, there's really not much to do in the way of process, but because obviously the first thing that we would do is begin to look at the resumes and decide how we're going to address the resumes and hone down that that list. What I would like to do quickly is just to have us go around and have everybody just speak for a couple of minutes about what they think, and I think this would help Rick as well. And I, of course, as a lawyer, also had my own experiences representing clients dealing with not necessarily Maria, because she wasn't here for very long, but certainly dealing with Mr. Hort. But what if we just go around and everybody just talks for a minute about what they think they're looking for or what the ideal qualities they're looking for in the candidate? I think that would be kind of like an interesting way to start. And I'll go last. Why don't we start with Kathy?
Don't you worry your pretty little head about that.
Thank you, Bruce. So I read over, as I was reading over the packet and the information that Rick put together, I thought that was very thoughtful and interesting, and it looks like he did a lot of due diligence on that. From my background, my financial background, and from my time on the select board committee, I think my primary focus in wanting to be on this committee was led by the recent financial issues of the town. So all of the other qualities that you want to see when you're hiring people, I've been a hiring manager. I've hired people. This is my first search committee, so I'll go out and say that. But obviously you're looking for those intangibles, the ability to bring a team together, the ability to cohesively mentor and all of those things. And I think we need I'm looking for somebody specifically with the financial acumen to be able to take what Charlie has started and bring them forward along with the rest of that. So there has to be somebody who is able to, we have to have somebody who's going to be able to work in a varied domains, to not only be a leader of the staff, the professional staff, but be able to deal with the select board, be able to deal with the boards, be able to deal with the department heads, and have some competency with the processes and structures so that we can make sure that we have a solid foundation for our financial endeavors going forward.
Okay, Kathy, excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bruce.
Chief Hurley?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few quick thoughts that when I had spoken with Rick White about, this is now my third administrator since being chief in November of 2019. So it's been a challenge. I really think that some disconnect with department heads and town staff, communication has, over time has improved, but has definitely been an item of concern. And I just think that also from the finance standpoint that, we just really need to get back on firm footing across the town, across the board, and just get some systems in place that there's some continuity throughout town and departments. And somebody who's going to fit in Wellfleet. I think that's the biggest missing key is someone that will fit in with the community, the boards, the select board, and somebody that they can work with. So I'm excited about it and looking forward to it and having, as a department head, some stability moving forward in town.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Chief Pauly?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I again, not to belabor this, but good points have been made, and I agree with all of them. Certainly, the town finances is, I think, the situation that we're in. Certainly, through Charlie's work and the team he's brought together has put us a good path forward, because basically for the last year and a half, we were really circling and not knowing what was what. And I say that as a department head. Fortunately, we kept the majority of us kept our own set of books, if you will. And those ledgers have been found to be very, very accurate, based upon my conversations with the interim town accountant and the interim town administrator. So, but we really need to have someone who's got a good handle on Massachusetts finances and who can proactively look at revenue.
Boy, no, you got the feels, boy, no, I'm so curious about you, want to keep it cool, but I know every time you can move, got me frozen, I get shots, obvious, kick catch, feels like butterfly, if you say, with some of my, when he pulls that,
Hacking into us.
Charles, stop looking at me like that, got it? Why are you muting me for, huh? Fight me, meet me outside.
Hang on,
fight
guys.
me. Boy, no, you got the piece, boy, no, I'm so curious, but you want to keep it cool, but I know every time we move, got me frozen, I get, don't worry, there'll be more people joining, so, it's just like, I'm not gonna be the